Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Greg Peterson. My co-anchor Kim Thurman has the night off. Our big story right now at 6. The city of Mobile is spending over $3 million to replace old, outdated patrol cars. It's a high price to pay, but the police department says it needs those 300 or so new cars in order to keep officers on the streets. Today, we're getting our first look at dozens of new cars you'll soon see in your neighborhood. An aging fleet of squad cars tossed to the side today, making room for a new, improved ride.
We had cars where officers were driving them and the axle would break. This is obviously an issue of officer safety.
Most of these older model patrol cars deemed no good and unreliable. The cars have nearly 300,000 miles on them. Officer Ivan Norfus knows that all too well.
My older vehicle had a lot of miles on it. It was high mileage, a lot of different maintenance issues.
He says the equipment and computer inside his patrol car weren't working most days. That made his job even that much harder to do.
All the information, whenever we dispatch the calls, it comes through on the computer. Without having a computer, you don't have access to that information. You always have to call back the dispatcher if you don't write it down, which ties up the radio. When it's right there in your computer, all you have to do is look at your computer and you can always reference that information that they just gave you over the radio.
79 of these new Chevy Caprices will be outfitted with the Mobile Police Department logo and the striping package, which was unveiled last December. The remaining 24 new vehicles will remain unmarked and used for various officers and detectives to drive. There's a hefty price tag to go along with the new purchases, over $3 million for the new cars and equipment, but the department says in the long run they'll be saving money and they'll be able to focus their attention on public safety rather than dealing with constant fleet problems and failures.
When these cars go in for maintenance, it's not just belts and tires. We're replacing engines and alternators, things that are very expensive to replace.
Well, the old cars will now be stripped down and all the equipment removed, including the light bars. The vehicles will then be sold at a police auction.